scammer turned YouTuber. Let's talk about Tankz, the scammer rapper turned content creator and UK commentator.
I'm a London scammer. I see it, I want it, I click it, and that's...
This is going to be somewhat of a glaze fest, so buckle up. And this video is dedicated to Viper, aka Jojo. That's my slime, and he reminds me too much of Tankz. I think it was actually Jojo that sent me Tankz's song, London Scammer, which currently sits around 32 million views at the time of this recording. He uploaded this 5 years ago, and it became a bop anthem for all the F-boys out there. And when it was first released, I didn't necessarily think it was a good song or that he was a good rapper, but the persona and character of Tankz was certainly entertaining because he was rapping about something incredibly illegal and incriminating.
So today I'm going to talk about Tankz, man, the UK scam rapper who's supposedly turned a new leaf and he's now just making straight up content on YouTube about UK rap culture. He's kind of creating a position for himself as the UK Academics. And if you don't know who DJ Academics is, he's an American blogger who shares his opinion on the US rap scene and is very influential. Yeah, man, Tankz. Obviously, I can understand why some people won't like it because he's just talking on uncomfortable conversations that needs to be had, man. He's calling out a lot of rubbish. And in my opinion, there's a lot of rubbish in the UK rap culture, UK rap scene that just goes, you know, people are not getting called out for this nonsense, man. And it's good that they've got someone, a voice of critical acclaim that can call people out on this rubbish, man. Let rappers know they're slacking. Let people know that they're idiots, you know what I mean? Because, you know, people are just scared to talk on the UK rap scene because they think they're going to get seen and get smacked up or something. I don't know. Yeah, man, Tankz's opinion is definitely needed. And I feel like more people should not be afraid to speak out and criticise UK rappers, bro.
And I didn't know this until Tankz became a YouTuber, but BBC Panorama actually made a documentary about him,
social media
baiting him out.
He's not as clever as he thinks. Remember Tankz? He's the guy who raps about fraud and sold me a fraud guide. I think I've worked out where he is, and I'm on the way there now. His post about life as a fraudster reveal more than he intended.
That he was a uni student.
Video, Tankz is heard saying he's a uni student.
He rebranded Tankz as for entertainment purposes only and decided to go fully legit. Now, I personally always thought that commentary videos, streamer type culture pods were specifically for male audiences until he started being recommended to me on my YouTube. And I thought, isn't this the scammer / rapper? But I don't think the damage was life-changing in terms of prison or getting caught because he was able to cover his tracks and he was very clever. I think the worst that happened was that he had to come clean to his family, but I think it was a wake-up call that he had to go legit. I actually took interest to his videos. Like I said, I don't usually go for that sort of content, but I took interest to him and I started watching some of his YouTube videos and I was actually quite impressed with the quality level of his content. He was interesting, funny, engaging, and to be honest, showing his personality the way he did on screen, which wasn't London Scammer, actually fascinated me more than anything. So whilst I was initially intrigued by his YouTube channel because I thought, wasn't this the guy making, I'm a London Scammer, I see it, I want it, click it. The fact that his content is actually good, I subscribe, I would now say I'm a fan. And I was just compelled to make this video because I don't think anybody in the UK has actually made an in-depth, thorough video about Tankz and how he's the seemingly only person to literally go from borderline being arrested, having the BBC make a documentary about him. Like, can we deep the BBC basically, you know, leaked his identity and stuff. I don't know how secretive he is. Obviously, he wears a mask. I don't know if I'd be able to. I think I'd probably recognize him on the street, but like I said, I don't know. And even though I've never spoke to Tankz or anything, I feel like I've developed a sort of parasocial relationship with him because I just really enjoy his videos because it gave a different light onto UK culture and the UK scene that I'd never seen before. He really put it in a different light. And I think he's talked about this before. The old heads aren't really getting with the program. They're sort of sticking to their music blogs and stuff, and they're very influential and have power. Whereas, you know, the new schoolers are coming in with this YouTube thing, daily uploads, and they're really dominating and they have such an influential say in like UK music. And I don't think people realise him and Chapel Ross are like the first and only people I've seen actually really address Central C's allegation with the cap rap and all these things. Like they've been the only ones that have been brave enough really to stand up against YB's and Sench's entourage to challenge Sench. I feel like nobody else in the UK has been brave enough to do that. Like Sench has kind of been like an untouchable name in the industry, in my opinion anyways. So going back to Tankz's YouTube channel, I can't remember exactly which video I saw first, but he's talked about different things ranging from UK politics, obviously a lot has to do with UK music and the culture. Yeah, I really appreciate his content. I did say this was going to be a glaze fest, but if we're just deep in how someone really went from verge of getting arrested to now becoming a successful YouTuber, and his story, his grind, his come up is actually really interesting because he obviously went from doing F for entertainment purposes, having a BBC documentary leaked about him. But if I'm correct, he tried to go legit before that. And I think it was a real story about things many of us struggle with, which is making so much money at a young age, but then realizing to actually fight the system, you have to go legit, because otherwise, what are you going to do with the money? What are you going to do if you get caught and it all comes crashing down? At one point, he had a pregnancy scare, thinking that a baby was on the way. He thought, okay, I need to pattern up, I need to be able to provide for my kid. And he did delivery jobs, delivering packages, I believe worked in a Tesco. And he thought, man, this isn't for me. And I think a lot of us can relate to this, even if we've only ever been in 9 to 5s and we were never in the criminal life, but working some crappy minimum wage jobs with managers that we hate, that are like dickheads to us, but still having to grind to put food on the table and pay bills. So actually, I'm really happy for him that obviously he's still getting the royalty, I imagine, from his monthly listeners on Spotify and his music. But he actually discussed leaving the music industry basically because he didn't want to kiss ass and play ball. Another thing that's really interesting on that point is that Tankz claims to have Asperger's. So basically like autism spectrum, basically he's autistic. And again, it's like a UK scammer rapper talking about autism, talking about mental health. He's talked about depression, he's talked about losing loved ones and families. He's actually very versatile in his commentary and what he can talk about. And recently, the path that he's taken is one that I really respect. He's sort of touching into like woke topics and telling people about these digital IDs and government control and like COVID vaccinations. And I really rate it. Although I don't agree with every single thing that comes out of his mouth, I respect a lot of the things that he has to speak. Like, he's speaking truth. Like, me personally, I didn't get no COVID vaccination. A lot of my brethren didn't get COVID vaccination because we could see through the BS. And things like government digital ID, like, I'm completely against it. Banks holding your money. And I really respect him also for making a video on CIFAS markers. He's the only person in our age to warn about the dangers with CIFAS markers. I've had my banks frozen before, my bank accounts, and it was really scary. It's really scary to think, wow, the banks can just hold so much money off of you and you don't know if you're gonna ever see that cash again, And now with the government overreach, it's sort of like, if you're just talking your shit online, he used to say it's not going to become like China credit score system, where if you say something that the government deems to be like, terrorism, they're just going to hold all your assets and stuff. Cash is king, guys, Said it's really good. He's doing collaborations with Bouncer and Traplo Ross. Traplo Ross is another person I'm going to make a video in, but I feel like it was Tankz that introduced me to this UK scene. Now, with UK rap, I've always been a fan of UK rap, but I only had a bigger appreciation and love for UK rap once I went to America. I feel like something about being a black woman in America, who's born in America but raised in the UK, is a very interesting experience. And it gave me a newfound love for UK rap, because obviously when you go over there, they all just be like, oh, Skepta, Stormzy, but it's mainly Central C, really. Like, they don't know about Digga D and Fredo and like K-Trap and these things, Heady One. And it's just really nice to talk about UK rap and drill and grime with these people. Do you know what I mean? Like, in secondary school, it was a big thing, like Afro Wave and all these things. Considering the fact that Sench is and has been my favourite artist for a minute, I really like that he's opened the doors for conversation for Traplo Ross to do a deep dive on these UK rappers, and it's all just really interesting. Like, I could make a separate video in itself talking about Traplo Ross and Central C and stuff. I feel like I do want to get into somewhat the UK commentary space, either presenting, interviewing, doing podcasts, because I actually feel like I've got my 2 cents to share as well when it comes to the UK industry. And obviously the UK is a small place, like crossing over into US entertainment is one thing, but I really like discussing the culture here. I feel like we have a very real and gritty culture in the UK that's just like only people in the UK would understand. Like Americans will never understand it. Same way we would probably never understand how the likes of people like NBA Youngboy grew up and stuff like that in them sort of trenches. You know what I mean? So Tankz, I hope you see this. Big shout out to you. It's so funny when you talk to Chung Lee and you're like, guys, like the video. Guys, make sure you actually like this video, okay? Make sure you like this video. But Tankz, keep doing you, keep shining, keep posting. I know at one point you was doing daily uploads, posting twice. You know, don't let your quality dip. Ignore the haters. I feel like people will try and unnecessarily like hate on Tankz, but I feel like he's a real guy. I keep telling the youth the important things like CFAS markers, banking and government control, because we are literally in the new world order era, and it's important for the younger generation, Gen Z, to be informed about these things like unemployment rates and taxes and all these things other than just UK music commentary. So guys, if you enjoyed, this was like my first breakdown commentary video on Tankz. He's just the first of many. If you're interested in this sort of video, make sure you like it, and I will see you guys in the next one.